to the ideas of democracy. Now, here I am going to put two constructive arguments related to two basic ideas of democracy. Number one, freedom to speak and to be heard, and number two, representation. First of all, let us talk about freedom to speak and to be heard. Now, what happens in social media is that it is an institution where it works on the basis of applause and this one, attention and acceptance. What happens is that the more number of likes or the more number of, only this much percentage of the rural population has internet subscription. Now, another organization
coming out, these problems are also coming in the mainstream, which were beyond the paradigm of the government earlier. So don't you think social media is making the government aware of the new age policies and allowing the government to pay heed to them also? So this way social media can also work as the fourth pillar of democracy, because people are having a voice at this platform when they are not being heard anywhere else.
Particular issues they are being raised to social media, and then policies are being formulated and government is listening to it. And secondly, what you said that people are getting a voice. First of all, understand that the policies, the basis of policy formulation is not something that we got a particular message on any platform from the world. For example, Rajya Sabha TV and NDTV, in my particular opinion, they need to be neutral. Your question?
3, 2, 1. So, and I am going to speak against the motion. Okay. So, 3, 2, 1. Social media is an internet-based form of communication that allows users to interact with each other by sharing ideas, beliefs, information, and creating web content. Democracy is a form of government in which every citizen has the opportunity to participate in political, economic, and cultural life and exercise power through free and fair elections. Social media can never be the fourth pillar of democracy because the algorithm of minorities and disadvantaged communities, it becomes even more dangerous because the
they are also unable to use it. Ma'am, today, please keep in mind that even the elderly, even my grandparents for that matter, who are technologically inept at best, even they have a smartphone, even they are able to now contact CESC or any kind of municipal authority through social media platforms, because most social media civic authorities tend to have in order to make it easier for people to reach out. So that is already there. So how can you say that when we try to contact them through social media, it is not being heard? It is being heard here.
Okay. So I'd like to answer your question, sir. Rightly pointed out, there are some senior citizens who have a smartphone, who have an internet connection, who are using social medias. But the matter of fact here is that, are they using the social media platforms which are reaching the top tier? For example, are they using Twitter? No, they are not using Twitter. Are they using Instagram accounts? No, they are not using Instagram accounts. Most of the senior citizens, which I know and which are a bit educated, they tend to use WhatsApp. They tend to use Facebooks, which have been proved time and again because of spreading misinformation.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So in your speech, you mentioned that the underprivileged sections and the marginalized sections of the society would not be probably having access to social media. However, it has been time and again observed that there might be some people who have access to social media who might be able to capture the problems, say, faced by a working class person or say faced by a person with disabilities. And even if that person does not have access to social media as such, if the other people around them are aware of are sensitive to their issues, they make it a point to highlight it. And in such a case, social media does play an important role to educate the masses or to open the eyes of the masses to the problems faced by such sections of the society.
Okay, there are some people who now understand this. You yourself pointed out that people who are underprivileged, who belong to the marginalized communities, they come into limelight because of some other people who capture their problems, who bring them at the forefront. Now, this itself says.
I think the timer is set. Sudeep, you can start. Okay, thank you. yes, so far we have covered algorithms, we've covered lack of access, we've covered lack of monetary funds, and several reasons why.
Srideep, we will give you another chance. For now, let Yashaswini speak. Okay, we'll get back to you. Okay.
उत्पत्ति क्यों हुई थी मनोरंजक कार्यों के लिए, या फिर सोशल मीडिया का इस्तेमाल व्यक्ति विशेष क्यों करता है? क्या कोई भी व्यक्ति किसी भी जानकारी के लिए सोशल मीडिया पर जाना पसंद करेगा कि इंस्टाग्राम से मैं ये जानकारी उठाता हूँ? नहीं। तो मान्यवर, यहाँ हमें समझने की आवश्यकता है, चौथे स्तंभ की तरह स्वीकृत कर पाएंगे। यहाँ हम देखते हैं कि क्यों सोशल मीडिया को चौथा स्तंभ नहीं बनाना चाहिए। मेरा पहला मुख्य बिंदु है कि जानकारी की कमी। सोशल मीडिया इस्तेमाल करने वाले ज्यादातर लोग किसी भी चीज में विशेषज्ञ नहीं होते, वे आम जनता होती है। वो आम जनता है जो किसी भी चीज की व्याख्या सही तरह से नहीं कर सकती। आप उनके सामने कोई भी चीज रख, ये चीज को हो जाता है। दूसरा मुख्य बिंदु है अप्रासंगिक चीजें। हम सब जानते हैं कि सोशल मीडिया पर कैसे कृत्य व कारनामे हमें देखने को मिलते हैं। चाहे सोशल मीडिया से ज्यादातर, अगर मैं एक जेन जी आजादी है कि हम किसी भी प्रकार की चीज का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, लेकिन केवल
I think the participants can now ask the interesting questions. Alright, we have Srividya and Vanchita. We'll go with Srividya first.
देखिए, जब हम आपने रील्स की बात की, जब भी हम किसी चीज को, किसी प्रॉब्लम को हम नाटकीय ढंग में देखते हैं या गाने बजाने के साथ देखते हैं, तो उसका ज्यादा अच्छा इम्पैक्ट हमारे दिमाग पर पड़ता है। और ऐसे ही जब हम किसी पॉलिटिकल इशू को रील्स के थ्रू सामने लेकर आते हैं, यूट्यूब वीडियो के थ्रू सामने लेकर आते हैं, तो लोग उसको बेहतर समझ पाते हैं। तो ऐसे में जानकारी बेहतर ढंग से लोगों के अंदर समाती भी है और लोग समझ भी पाते हैं। तो आपको नहीं लगता कि डेमोक्रेसी के लिए जानकारी का जब लोगों को अच्छी तरह अवेयर हो रहे हैं, तो ये सोशल मीडिया को डेमोक्रेसी का चौथा स्तंभ बनाता है?
तरह से ले रहा है। कई लोगों के लिए जानकारी रील्स के द्वारा दी जाती है, वो मानसिकता दृष्टिकोण है उसके हिसाब से सही नहीं होती। और फिर उसके बाद जब आपने बताया कि जानकारी आती है यूट्यूब वीडियो के द्वारा, तो अब फिर से वो प्रमाणित जानकारी है या नहीं है ये भी नहीं होता। और उसके बाद जब हम बात करते हैं मीडिया की, तो मीडिया का मेन कार्य होता है जानकारी को पूर्ण रूप से समझाना। तो क्या आपने जो रील्स या यूट्यूब वीडियोस की बात की, वो उस जानकारी को सही ढंग से व उसके असल स्वरूप में समझा रही है या नहीं समझा रही है, ये मुख्य बात।
However, the basic point which has been overlooked so far in today's debate competition is a very simple one. Today's social media and the press are completely different. When it comes to arrested, he got into trouble because of the fact that he said some offensive things during stand-up comedy shows. Now, the fact that he said these at his show would not have been a big deal is at an all-time low.
Now, I explained in my speech about the algorithm. Now, if the social media is perpetuating an algorithm in which it's, don't you think so?
Thank you very much for your question, ma'am, and I thank you for your patience in still asking me questions. Ma'am, first the people through social media and form collective opinions with them. That is what social media has enabled. Therefore, when it comes, you are talking about what we see in our feed. I am talking about what social media overall does. Social media helps us to connect with people. Social media helps us get different viewpoints from all kinds of people. We are able to connect with a lot of people who we don't even reduce such tensions. I believe I've answered your question.
Yashaswini from AIST College. My question to the speaker is, so you mentioned that social media connected people. So mere connecting people and not looking how the media platform is being used, because there are people who are not actually known about the topic, and that's my question.
Thank you very much for that question, ma'am. A very simple thing. Out of the blue, people will slam others, obviously. Trolls are everywhere, hate speech reigns supreme and all of that. Understood. At the end, or someone who is my age. This entirely, ma'am, and I'm talking about connectivity here, I'm talking about basic human intellect, basic human...
This evening, alright, and all of them were amazing to listen to. We had contradictory opinions, and that's probably the fundamental of what a debate is, to know both sides and come to a conclusion. And it's okay to have a middle ground sometimes, though it was not allowed in this debate, and that's alright. Among the 5 participants today, we have a draw and a consolation prize will also be there. Let me announce the third position first.
Shubham, just a minute. I would like to request all of the participants to please open their camera and so that we can have the recording. And of course, the recording will be copyrighted at Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences, and it might be uploaded on the BCS channel also, YouTube channel also. Okay, I hope you understand that, and you have the understanding that we can upload this recording on the social media like YouTube channel. Thank you.
Please rest of the people as well, switch on your cameras, and we will also take a group photograph for a record.
उधर है.
I'm just changing the layout, so I request everybody to turn on their camera because I don't think everybody has. And I request Nitin to take screenshot too.
Yes, I'm doing it.
Sir, may I proceed to announce it?
Yeah. Yes, Shubham, please.
Alright, so the third position, which is a draw with 16.15 score, is Shriti Mukherjee and Swati Kumari. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The second position is secured by Vanshita Arora with 16.5, and the first position is secured by Yashaswini Trivedi, 16.7. The consolation is being given to Srividya Rajgopal, who was very close to the draw that with 15.9 as the score. I hope everybody is satisfied with their performance, and I would like to share the screen with Nitin now. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, participants. So congratulations as well. So now I would like to invite Dr. Amit Kumar, NSS convener, to present the vote of thanks, after which we will be taking a group photo together as well. Dr. Amit?
I have already conveyed the thanks to all the participants, and judging these participants was not easy, as you have seen from the record, from the marks that we have given them. Only a fraction of difference is there. So all of you have performed well, and hope you will be joining in the next series of events also. And I am happy that in this short notice you have performed that well. So best of luck for your exam, because I know most of you are going to face exams now. So best of luck for your exams also. And thank you for participating in this event.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I would also like to add a few words here. First of all, like the way Amit sir said, all of you performed really well, and it was very difficult. In fact, the most difficult task of the evening was left for the judges to mark you and to grade you, because all of you were that good. And those who couldn't make it by a fraction of a mark, they shouldn't be, by no means they should be any discouraged, because on any other day and they would be the winner. Okay, so it was just a matter of chance. And I hope that for our next series of events, hopefully in the coming semester, we can meet physically in college if everything permits. I would like for that to happen. And lastly, I would like to thank all the student organizers of the Confianza, the debate club of Bhaskaracharya College, because they, on a very short notice, given that the exams are like really close, they did a commendable job, and we got a very good competition on our hands. So thank you to all of you, and all the participants. Thank you for coming and participating.
Thank you so much.